Like, what's
I
your
would
earliest
say
memory of you liking a girl?
6, 7, maybe.
If a 5 or 6-year-old says I like the same sex, you don't take it as that's what they like.
Or you're still a kid. Things can change.
Nah, they'll be like, it's still like that heteronormative mindset where, like, if the kid is straight at that age, you don't think nothing of it. If a kid says they're gay or something like that, people in society tend to be like, oh, it might be a phase, or they might be confused.
For our next topic, ladies and gentlemen, Target been catching some heat for opening a clothing line for children, like gay clothing line, I guess is what it. I don't know how else to say without being not politically correct. Target opened up a brand line, Rainbow Kids. All this stuff was on the cover. A lot of parents, a lot of people been protesting. Their stocks dropped down by millions. So the question is Target right for having that clothing brand and, you know, promoting it in their stores, or should they just done what Walmart and other clothing businesses and just stay away from trying to be politically correct or follow the movement? And, you know, what do you guys think? Personally, Doba, what do you think about it? Have you seen this in Target before I get in with how I
I'd
feel
like
about
to
it?
not. I think I want to know how you feel.
Before we get into that, I just want to just one bit of clarification. There's a lot of speculation that Target stock prices have dropped a lot because of this clothing line, but
Started with it.
whatever. But a lot of analysts are saying that it has nothing to do with it. That it's just there's a lot of retailers right now that their stock prices are dropping, and that just in general the trend is moving away from these retailers. That people are more committing to online things. And there's just low confidence in these.
Best Buy is also losing. They're on the downward trend
Right.
as well.
So a lot, a lot of the right wing media wants to claim the tanking stock prices as a win from their side because Target is has this like LGBTQ kind of clothing line or whatever, but I don't know how accurate that is, and I don't think they know how accurate. I think they're just making bold claims. I just wanted to put that out there for the people, right? But Doey wants to know your opinion on this.
So my opinion is, yeah, I don't see why they did that. I don't think they should have. There's a need for that.
Sorry. Let's not talk about whether Target as a business, is it make business sense to do it. We're talking about, should there be clothing for kids with LGBT stuff on it, right? Like that's what
No, there shouldn't be.
Right? You think there shouldn't be? Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, if a girl wants to be, no, I'm a boy, or a boy wants to be, I'm a girl, just go in the girl boy section. Why have a whole section just to dedicate to that? They could just shop in the opposite sexes, you know, clothing section. I don't think.
And just to be clear, it's not like this Pride clothing line is like a section for trans people. It's just like clothes that have like rainbows on it and things like that, or clothing that shows like two men holding hands. You know what I mean? It's just because I don't know. I don't think you're gonna find that in the girls section. That's not.
I mean,
or the boys section. It's not a gendered thing. It's just a.
From the pictures online, I didn't see any of the same sex holding hands or anything like that. I'll have to go through it, but from what I saw,
what did you see?
I saw a big ass rainbow, clouds, multiple different kids playing together, That's it. I didn't see holding hands or anything.
Sure, but I guess I'm saying that that's not a gendered thing. You're saying just shop in the girls section. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, because why
They're not
else?
going to be clothes or rainbows like that, like for Pride.
Okay, I guess maybe in some way you're right about that. I guess if pride wise, but I just don't see. I don't see the reason for it. To be 100%, like
Kids wearing a Pride flag on their clothes. That's what you're saying. You don't see the reason for that?
No, not the fact that they're wearing pride, wearing a rainbow pride shirt. That's not what I don't think that's what. I wish I could just pop the pictures up here while we're talking, but I didn't see anything like rainbow wise
I'm
of the rainbow wise of like a boy shirt with a rainbow or a girl or whatever the sex is.
What's the clothes that you saw that you think is
at-
not right for children to wear, I guess?
Check up
Because if it's like some sexual shit, I'm with you. They get match straps and leather, and I'm like, yeah, for sure. But that ain't what happened.
If you go on Twitter and put up Target Pride, a whole bunch of videos quickly synopsing, you'll see all the displays. And we made a short about this a few weeks ago.
So look, so they
like
got
90% of these people are hicks, are just like
hicks. I know.
Yeah, there's this.
So, for example, they got rainbow colored pride shirts and happy shirts and all this stuff, which I mean, most of the girl shirts have that too. But I guess what my thing is, I don't see a sense of maybe it's just not. I don't know. Maybe for the adults, sure, but for kids, I don't think they should be doing that for kids.
So you're wearing a rainbow flag, right?
I'm not wearing it. What do you mean?
Oh my God, Tony! I'm just trying to get your opinion. It's hard. I don't know what you're
I'm saying
against.
I don't think there should be. I don't think that should be in the kids section. Leave that for the adults. I think kids are young, too young to really understand. And when I say kids, I mean like 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds. I think they're a little too young to really understand their feelings or to be just having this just in their face right now, because they're probably still trying to figure out what their feelings or emotions. So I feel like this is just promoting something for the adults. Whatever, you're a grown ass adult, have it whatever you want to wear, but just to be promoting that for kids, I don't think that's right.
So I'm of a few minds on this. I feel like in one sense, first off, I don't think it has anything to do with kids don't shop, right? Parents shop. So it's not like kids are going into the kids section and really picking their clothes. That's not really a thing. Like parents are buying clothes for their kids. So I don't think that if a kid is wearing a pride shirt, that means that they're gay or trans or anything like that. It could just as easily be that they got gay parents and they're like, cool, rock this shirt, show some solidarity, whatever, right?
So you're forcing them to wear shirts to support their...
Yeah, kind of like how you put a Cowboys jersey on your kid, right? Like it's similar to me in that sense, right? Like I put a Knicks jersey on my son, right? Or a Knicks shirt on my daughter. Like to me, it's like we're using our children's body as a statement to the world. Like to me,
that's
it's
not controversy at all, though. So I think there's a little difference in it. Like,
well, why is being gay controversial?
It's a hot topic right now. It's like
I'm asking
like
why is it controversial?
Because there's a big number of group of people that don't agree with this being forced into people's like TV shows, schools, now shopping stores. So like it's like a back and forth going, like, there's sides that don't want to acknowledge trans or gays or the community in general, and then there's obviously side that's neutral. So and then there's a side that like, yeah, hey, I'm down for it, let them take pride. There's a clash right now with it. With sports clothing and stuff, there's no real class besides rival teams. Like
I think more people hate Cowboys fans than people hate gay people.
Wow.
I think being a Cowboys fan is way more controversial than a trans issue.
I'm shocked by this. All right.
Nobody likes the Cowboys or the Eagles, Tony. But anyways, like I said, I'm of two minds of this, right? In one sense, it's like, from my perspective, it may be more controversial, like the LGBTQ stuff, right? Um, but I don't think that necessarily, like, somebody's opinion on this shouldn't color, like, whether a parent is wrong for putting this on their kid. Again, to me, is not much different than like sports attire and things like that. But in that same vein, I do find it weird, like, making your children's body like a political statement. That does feel strange to me, like, putting like Blue Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, like clothing on your kid, or like, or pride stuff on your kid.
Like, look at this.
It does feel weird, like you're trying to. What's up?
There's a kid's like 6-year-old. He's got a rainbow colored thing going down his shirt saying, "I can't even think straight." Like, I that to me is just wild. Like, is that a joke? I understand it, but it's like,
It's a political statement.
I think it's stupid. I don't think that phrase, that wording. I think it's
you have
dumb.
like heteronormativity in your mind, that because like, I think your view is that. I mean, and you're not gonna say this, right? But I think we all have this. As the world is changing, we're all changing. But it's like this idea that everything is straight by default, and by putting these things on children, you're gonna make them be a way that they might not have been, or something like that.
I'm sorry. I'm finding it as a play towards the gay community. I don't think that's a stance for them. Like, oh, I can't even think. I can't even think straight. Like, I think that's a joke on the community. I don't think that's like trying to. Maybe I'm taking it wrong. I think that's them making a joke out of the gay community.
Yeah,
I think that's in support of the LGBTQ stuff. I think they're saying like how could you call me? How could you call a kid straight if they can't even think straight? Like, right, is what I'm assuming, which I don't agree with, but.
Yeah. But
I've not seen the shirt at all.
When when you buy your kid a superhero outfit, are you like now promoting superhero like propaganda to your kid? Like, is it safe that he now thinks that Superman can fly, so now he can fly? He can't fly. But if he thinks Superman can fly, he tries to jump off something because he thinks he can fly. I'm just saying, like, how do you think it goes that deep?
So you're saying the equivalent of me telling my son, if he sees Superman flying, then my son.
I'm just saying, you get Superman material, a Spider-Man be hanging off the side of buildings, or anything, any superhero.
It's just saying that if I give my son a rainbow shirt, that he's going to be gay automatically. That's what you're
people
kind of
think.
saying. No,
That's
I'm
what
not.
people.
That's not what I'm thinking. That's not what I don't like. Me personally, I'm not gonna buy my son any rainbow colored shirts or anything like that. Me personally, it's not a hate to anybody, but like, I'm not.
How is it any different than buying a blue color shirt or red color shirt for your son?
Because of the color, I guess, or because what it mean, the meaning behind it.
I think
probably.
the difference is it is making a statement. Like,
yeah, I mean, the rainbow thing is a statement, like, for sure. Like, it's not a, like, I'm not gonna buy, like, I'm not gonna buy that I can't or whatever, I can't think straight because I'm gay shirt for my son. I'm not gonna put that on my kid. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not gonna do it. There's not a hate to anybody. There's no flack to anybody or to the community. I'm just not gonna do that. My kid gets older and wants to do it or whatever, or anybody's kid wants to do it, by all means. And I'm not trying to say, like, I'm not trying to support people. It's just saying, like, me personally, I'm not buying my son a rainbow color shirt like.
Nobody's saying that anyone has to, though, right? It's for the people who want it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that it shouldn't be in stores, though, for kids.
Why?
For little
Why
kids,
should it not be in stores? If you don't want it, then don't buy it. If it's not for you, it's obviously not for you, right?
Granted, but there's certain things that they shouldn't be not forced, but putting on kids. Like kids don't know no better. So if parents go out there buying this stuff that's there,
Nobody,
okay, because
but nobody jumps at people when they put these other things, like a sports team. Nobody's like, oh my god, he's putting a sports team on his son. Nobody like makes that's making a statement, right?
Kids
That
with like Trump shirts or MAGA hats.
MAGA hats, you know what I mean?
which I think is
It's
stupid
no,
too. But
it's no different than like
what?
any of that.
I said, which I think is also stupid. Yeah, they
But
even
nobody's up in arms when people do that. It's only when
I-
gay people
I
have
honestly think if I see a little white kid with a "Make America Great" shirt, I'll be like, "Yo, your dad's a fucking racist. Or he's ignorant." I'm gonna
Do you
think
think
that
all the Trump supporters are racist?
majority,
That's what you did. I didn't do that.
the majority. So
I
I
think-
think somehow.
But I
either
don't
way,
get it. I guess, in all seriousness, like you're saying, the kids shouldn't wear any pride clothing.
I don't think there should be a section for kids to have pride clothing of like.
Where should the pride clothing be? I guess.
for adults, teenagers, and up?
Okay, sorry. So I don't know what you're correcting. You don't think kids should wear pride clothing?
I don't think I don't think like Target should have a kids section like 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds like that. Like
Yeah.
if
So
teen-
where should kids get pride clothes then? If Target's not gonna have a section, where does a parent go to buy pride clothes to their kid?
online? I don't know. What I mean,
So you think it's okay to be sold online? Just it's a problem if it's in a store? Is that what the dispute is?
no. My only dispute is it shouldn't be there for kids like 10 and down. That's it. Whether you wherever the fuck if they make another store or not. I think like there should be an age limit to stuff like
So
that.
nobody should be able to buy pride clothes for their children 10 and under.
No, I'm saying that y'all really trying to hold me to a certain thing. I'm saying in the
I'm
fucking
just
store,
trying to
in
figure out what your
Target,
opinion is.
in Target, I don't think a 10-year-old and under type age group should have should have those shirts there. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So I'm saying right, and so the way you're wording that makes it sound like it's only a problem if it's in Target.
No,
I'm
any
assuming
store,
you'd have the
any
same
store.
problem if it's in Walmart too.
Walmart,
right?
any store.
But
any
what
store.
about if it's on Amazon? There's a 10 and under section that has pride stuff. Is that a problem?
Yeah, I would say that would be a problem too.
Okay, so then you don't think so. All right, that's what I'm saying. You don't think kids 10 and under should wear pride things,
Yeah. Okay.
right? You're basically saying you can't sell it anywhere. But I guess if your grandmother makes a crochet pride sweater, you could wear it. Like I'm trying to understand what your
It's just
opinion is.
the more of the mindset. Like kids like that don't understand what they're doing, and if parents are using it as a political statement, I don't
Tony.
think that's right for a kid who doesn't understand what's really going on to have that.
How
To
old
be a
were you
support.
when you knew you liked girls?
I don't fucking know.
So you
Like
liked boys at
maybe-
one point?
Maybe.
That's a weird response.
My shit is a weird response.
No, that means
Oh.
you like boys. What? That's not what he's
That is
saying.
that
What
is
the
a
hell?
gotcha. That's a gotcha.
No, like
All right.
It's a reason.
When
you
did
don't
you-
remember what age
Ridiculous.
you liked girls. Like, what's
I
your
would
earliest
say-
memory of you liking a girl?
6, 7, maybe.
I like girls in kindergarten.
girlfriend. I mean, I don't. That's around kindergarten age.
Yeah, 5, 6. So you,
Yeah,
you
I
think
mean,
if a 5 or 6 year old says I like the same sex, you don't take it as that's what they like.
but you're still a kid. Things can change.
Nah, they'll be like, yeah. You see, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's still like that heteronormative mindset where, like, if the kid is straight at that age, you don't think nothing of it. If a kid says they're gay or something like that, people in society tend to be like, oh, it might be a phase, or they might be confused, or they're
It
too
even
young
happens
to
to
make a
adults now,
decision
though.
like that.
Like, so I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not
just because
trying
it
to.
happens to some people doesn't mean that there are people that grew up straight that like men when they got older.
Yeah, that happens for sure.
Sure.
I'm just saying
But
they're old enough to
it's just
make
weird
a
that
stance.
it's just weird that when a 7-year-old kid likes a girl, a 7-year-old boy likes a girl, no one questions, oh, is he confused? No, we just accept it. But like, if the roles are reversed, there'll be all these thoughts of like, oh, maybe he isn't gonna be, or this or that. That's what heteronormativity is that we still just view everybody as straight by default. And by putting a pride shirt on somebody, people are like, you're gonna turn the kids gay.
Like I get
that's
the
their
agenda
fear.
though behind all this. It's to push normalcy and same sex, or like I get the agenda. I get what
I don't
they're
even
trying
think
to.
it's that. I think Target knows that people probably want to buy pride stuff for their kids, so they put it there to make money. They're a business. They're not doing anything to like better
So
society.
you don't think
Once again, with just the same way Budweiser did, they saw a market that they could tap into, and they're business people. They're not gonna do it out of the goodness of their heart.
You were saying that I don't think what?
Oh, I don't think that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
And you said you don't think to me.
Yeah.
So you're saying
I don't think that you think that that's a smart business move if we're talking about business. Knowing that there's a lot of flack behind it. Oh, sure, let's be the first to. I don't think a lot of people are thinking that's a smart move right now. Just because of how hot
I
this shit
don't know
is.
whether it's a good move or not. I mean, seeing their stock prices go down, one could surmise that it's a bad move, but it's like, I don't think it was a bad move for Bud Light, right? Like they seem to be doing just fine. So like I don't know if the stock drop is due to, like I said in the beginning, trends for retailers, or if it's a truly a result of this pride stuff. I think we're just getting June is Pride Month, right? So
Yep.
it just seems like the clothing line, they put in the clothing line so they could sell a lot of pride shit this
During
month.
the
That's
month.
just the vibe I got.
So you don't think
I
that's fake as fuck too? Then. Oh, it's
their
Pride
business,
Month. Let's just
everything. I don't
boost it
think
up.
anything.
You
I
know?
don't think anything businesses do is real. That's my opinion. I think everybody's in it to make money. I don't look at like, oh, Black History Month comes up. Now they got all this like, power and Afro shit in the stores. I don't be like, oh, look how fake they are. I don't. I just. They're a business. They're just trying to make money. They're just trying to sell shit. There's no different than they got mass snacks out during the Super Bowl. It's like, oh, look how fake they are. They act like they support the snack. Nah, people are gonna buy snacks for the Super Bowl. Like that's just how it works.
So
there's more beer. There's more jerseys. I don't know. I think it's just business moves.
So, do you think that? So obviously you're in favor for having gay clothing line for kids under 10
Yeah,
or whatever.
I don't see any issue with that. I don't think anything. I see what everybody's pointing out, and I'm like, so what? But I think it's a very low IQ, feels like kind of thought process. It just feels like very hickish. It just feels like all these people come from the deep South or West Virginia or like those places. And
I think
even
it comes
Florida.
from.
Florida's just a garbage dump right now. They just, all of the things happening in Florida and all of the Florida opinions, they're just no good to me. They kind of suck.
I think
You guys
you're
hate
wildin'.
immigrants. You guys hate gay people.
All right.
You guys, I'm just saying.
What?
It's-
You saying
it's
Florida hates immigrants, bro? You're bugging right now. 1,000%, you're bugging, bro.
I'm just saying. It's
Florida
the way
hates immigrants.
you're
Come on,
busing them to our city.
All right. We have plans to talk about the Ron DeSantis thing in a little
Yeah,
while.
he's
Like,
going right into it.
That's what I'm not saying like you're saying crazy shit. I'm saying you're treading into other
Yeah.
conversations that we're planning to have tonight.
Yeah.
So my opinion on this is this, right? On what, that's what I said. I'm of two minds. On one hand, I don't think it's too different from putting shit on your kids. Like I'm about to doom my children to be Knicks fans. That shit is a curse. I've been living depressed my whole life. My team ain't never gonna win a championship. Now I'm gonna pass that depression on my children. That's a terrible thing, right? It's not much different than that to me. Like in for the most part, I do find it weird. Like I acknowledge that, like, okay, for a pride shirt for like a 6 or 7 year old, I know like the conservatives will still think that's crazy. I think you're 6 or 7 years old. If you're feeling those types of feelings, cop your pride shirt. If your feelings change later, throw your pride shirt away. I don't think it's that serious. I do find it weird when you got like a 5-month-old kid and you're putting like a pride onesie on the kid. It feels like, I don't know. It's something about like making political statements with your children's body makes me uncomfortable. Like, same goes for a Black Lives Matter shirt or a Blue Lives Matter shirt or
It don't matter
a
where it is.
MAGA
Any
hat
political
or
statements. Yeah.
Biden for 2024. Any of these things, putting these things on your children, it just feels weird. It's like you're using your children as like a political billboard. Something about that just makes me uncomfortable. I can't put my finger on what about it is, but
I think it's unfortunate, and I think we're about to be almost 100 years from it. But it's like the same thing with anti-Semitism in Germany in the 1930s and how they got people to hate Jews. I feel like it's the same thing.
Michael Rappaport told you to use the extra syllable, Jewish.
Jewish. Yeah. Jewish people. I think it tracks in the same way. I think you're going to start seeing more legislation being put against gays and transsexuals through Congress, and I think it's a cesspool of our country. It's it's the same people that hated black people. It's the same people that hated Jewish people. They're all in the same. It's just very hateful, and it comes from a very shitty place. Real quick question: would you guys ever take your kids to like a drag time story hour thing?
No.
I don't think so, personally, but I don't have any strong opinions about it.
Okay. What about you, Tony? No
Tony,
strong
Tony?
I
opinions?
wouldn't. I said no. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like if it's just a person in drag reading a book, I don't care. But it's not a thing that I'm gonna like seek out. Like, I want a person in drag to read a book to my kid. I don't know.
Well, would you?
I don't know. Maybe if
it
there's
happened?
studies that show like this is beneficial for kids for whatever reason, then I'm for it. That's really the answer. But
How would that be beneficial for kids?
what if like I'm just speculating, but like right, what if like having a person in drag read a book to your kid just makes your kid in general more open-minded to the different ways that people are in society, just because they're being exposed to more things. They're not going to be more like, maybe they'll be less likely to judge gay people or people in drag or things like that. People with alternative lifestyles, as people like to coin. I don't know.
Yeah. What was your second question, though? You was about to ask another question.
I actually lost track of it.
Well, that sucks.
I think you was gonna say what happens if they put the storybook time in schools.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
No.
I was also gonna say no. Yeah, no. I think that this political thing that's going on with it is.
We went to school with gay people, right?
Yes.
Middle school.
Yeah.
By middle school, there were people that we knew were gay.
We're gay, yeah, for sure.
And then, have you ever seen a kid and you said that I know that kid is gay? But
there
you
was
never.
a kid in my neighborhood, right? We were all young. This kid might have been like 8 or something. I was younger than that. I was like 4 when I knew this kid. I knew this kid was gay from that young, right? I saw on everything on my life.
I know what you mean, though.
The
You
mannerisms,
tell,
everything.
yeah.
I was like, all right. I'm like, we all used to just be like, oh, that he's gay, right? He grew up, had a wife, had children, and then got a divorce and married a man many years later. And I was like, I always knew you were gay.
I always knew it.
But anyway, sorry. All that to say, yeah, there's certainly people that we grew up with that we knew were gay from very, very, very young, right?
Same. So I just feel like it's like denying that whole aspect. Like, are we gonna deny those people even existed?
No, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying I don't want it pushed upon anybody. That don't, you know what I mean? Like that.
So you think it being in a store is pushing it on people?
No, I'm saying like certain like the storybook time thing, or like even in school they're trying to put it in there. I'm like, let's
This is what they said. They said about like black books and stuff like that, and like this is the same type of rhetoric when we were trying to get black people integrated in the school system and stuff like that. Like it's almost like the same shit coming right back around.
nah. That's I think that's
Yeah,
well
I mean,
different.
it is a similar. It's a similar argument, but I don't think the fact that the argument is similar makes it invalid. Like, because like, what if it was like, what if we want to normalize naked people reading books to our kids? You'd be like, nah, I don't want naked people. It would be the same argument. You'd think that that thing is inappropriate for children, but I think we could all agree naked people going to school reading books is probably weird, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't want to equivocate the two things just because it's a similar thing, but I don't know something about drag. And I'll be honest, I don't know enough about the drag community, so I could be completely off base. It just seems sexual to me. Drag just seems sexual, and I don't think that we should be like forcing that on kids. And frankly, I don't think parents should be taking kids into sexual spaces, like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. And again, I'm gonna preface all this with saying I don't know enough about the drag community. In fact, the only thing I know about and the only exposure that I really have to drag was the fucking movie Tu Wong Fu
Yeah.
or some shit. I don't know anybody that or that I know of that does drag or anything like that.
I know a few people. They're very, very nice, normal people.
I actually watched Pose. Was it Pose?
Pose.
There's a show about like the 80s drag scene. I watched the first couple episodes. It was actually a good show. So but again, I don't know anybody personally. And I also seen there's a movie, The Bronx is Burning. I watched that movie. It's like a documentary about the drag scene in the 80s. So I know a little bit. To me, it feels something about it feels sexual, but it could just be me not having enough exposure to it, and maybe there's nothing that
I guess it's the
serious.
same thing about furries. Everybody kind of thinks there's like a sexual thing going on there.
I think there's a sexual thing going on.
Yeah, I don't know. There's always been a I think it's a hot ass topic, and you know that's something that should just be tread very lightly, like when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, I wait. Sorry. What's a hot topic?
The whole gay community, trans community, just the community,
yeah, I
and
disagree.
it being like pushed into certain things to try to make it normal. Like,
I think a gay person reading a book at a school is totally acceptable.
Whether they're gay or not is not the problem. It's just that if they're dressed up as drags and stuff, and
yeah, that's not a gay thing. That's a drag.
yeah, it's a drag
That's
thing.
different.
I'm just saying, like, or like, you know how you made a perfect example about being naked and reading to. Well, of course we don't want that in front of our kids. You know what I mean? But
like, for example, again, I don't know enough about the drag community, so maybe this is offensive. I view drag as like a costume, right?
that's what it is. It's dress up.
Like, well, I mean, I don't think you know much about drag, so
But
like, I view it as like a costume. From what I know, even the people that do drag, they tell other people, don't fall in love with what I look like when I'm in drag, because this is a thing we're doing. This ain't like a everyday situation. So all that to say, is it any different if a guy in a Batman costume came to read a book to your kids versus like drag? Like, is it like it's not like a costumed person that's the problem, right?
Yeah, there's a difference.
What's the difference?
He's not trying to promote any sexual changes or any sexual behavior or anything sexual wise, like a preference thing. He's just wearing a superhero costume. Doesn't have nothing more than just a fake imaginary character. So it is to me that's a difference. This is a made up thing. Being transgender or gay is not a made up thing. That's a
Drag
real
has
thing.
nothing to do with transgender, but
Oh, okay, we're going back to the drag talk. Okay,
well, that was the that was my
has
direct question.
That has a sexual.
I'm saying, what's the difference between a Batman reading something to you or someone in drag?
One's fake and one's real. You think those people? You think the drag? One again, and then again, I don't know much about it, but you think drag people are just wearing that because it's fun? No, they do it because they feel comfortable wearing women's clothing. Like it's like it's a thing. It's not like none of us are going to be putting the makeup and wearing women's clothing or anything like that and dancing in high
Actually,
heels.
I got my fingernails painted yesterday.
That's cute. Your daughter did it?
Yeah, it was terrible. My whole hand was like blue, pretty much. But anyhow, sorry, I'm just being a dick. Yeah, again, I don't know enough about the drag stuff. I feel like there's something sexual about it. If there isn't, then I feel like there's less issue with it, and there's just I'm just uncomfortable because I haven't been exposed to these ideas enough. But
I think
I don't know. Just to go back to it, Target selling Pride stuff, I don't think there's a problem. If my 6-year-old thinks he's gay and he wants to wear a Pride shirt, I think there should be a place for people to be able to purchase.
But you
those
agree there's a
things.
limit, though. There is a cutoff for that.
A cutoff?
Yeah, if you think your 6-year-old thinks he's gay or she's gay, there's a cutoff for you to what they can do.
Yeah, because
I don't think they should go have sex at 6 years old if that's what you're suggesting.
Not even sex or having a sex change, like Dwayne Wade's kid.
I don't think they got a
She
sex
was
change.
pressing. Yeah, they didn't do that, but there was a big thing. Like they were considering it, this and that, and they kind of pushed back and said, "No, wait till you're older" or something like that. I'm saying,
So you're
like,
saying even
there's
the
a cutoff.
thought of, like, even the thought is bad.
No. There is a cutoff. So, like Pucho was saying, like, my son was gay. He wanted to buy a shirt. 6-year-old and said he was gay. He'll let him. I'm saying there's a cutoff to it that you won't allow your son or daughter to.
A cutoff to gay stuff, or you're talking about other things now?
A cutoff to the gay stuff, I guess. Like,
what's the cutoff? I'm just
like if your son said he wanted to have a sex change or he wanted,
that's
he wanted
nothing
take
to do with
hormonal
gay
pills.
stuff. That's transgender. That's a different conversation, right?
I would categorize that maybe somewhat similar a little bit.
No, they're not at all the same. Right. One is who you like. The other is what you identify as. If I had a kid, and that would be a very difficult thing for me to deal with personally, because I don't know, it's a lot for me to think through. But if my young kid felt like they were the opposite gender, and I feel like the right course of action is to get the right help for that issue. So, like, make sure you're talking to like a psychiatrist, making sure that, like, you know, that they feel the same way, that there's some agreement, like, because right now the correct course of action from a medical perspective is if you have feelings that you're trans, or that you got assigned the wrong gender at birth, the right course of action is to assimilate into the gender that you identify as. So when you're younger, it just may mean, you know, if you're born assigned as a boy, start wearing girl clothes, and that's as far as you take it until, you know, late teens or something, when at that point you start considering hormone therapy and things like that. But ain't nobody giving sex changes to 7-year-old kids. Like, that ain't happening.
A doctor's not gonna okay it.
It's not happening.
It's not gonna happen.
But I also wouldn't be okay with it. Like, the only way I'd be okay with it if there was some fucking like technology that could do like a brain scan that said 100%, you know, this is the situation. Then I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, if that's the situation, it is what it is.
So you're saying if they feel like they're not whatever they were classified as when they were born, and you know they're at an age and they're saying, "Oh, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl," they have to go to psychiatrists and all this to make sure that their mindset is good.
Yeah, I think
It's a little odd to me.
Is it odd to you?
Just in the fact that in the way it's
Their
like saying,
brain is telling them something different than what their body is.
so in the way it's
I
saying their
think the
brain's
right thing to
fucked up.
do is to what?
Because what you're saying, it sounds like their brain's fucked up. Like it's not, like something's off, that you have to take them to a psychiatrist to see if it's something like wrong, like something's off. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, I think there is something off. I think there's an incongruence between your brain and your body. I think by definition, there's something different. I don't know. I think there's a moral loading of saying there's something wrong with you. I'm not saying there's something wrong with somebody. I think somebody needs help with the situation they're in, and the people you go to for help are doctors and psychiatrists for trans issues. I'm not saying that they're going through something that's wrong, or they're like I don't know. I'm not morally loading any of these words. I'm just saying if I broke my arm, I need help. So I'm going to go to the people that work with broken arms, and that's going to be a doctor that works with bones. If I'm depressed, that means I need help mentally. I'm going to go to the people that help people with their mental. And if I'm trans, or I feel transness or whatever, then you need help, right? You are experiencing distress because you feel one way, but everybody's treating you a different way, and you look a different way. So it's like you need to go talk to your doctors and just take the right course of action, which I think right now the recommended course of action is to talk to a psychiatrist, make sure that you're like in the right headspace, like, they could gauge the correct course of treatment, and then give them the recommended treatment.
Yeah,
I think that's the route.
Therapist, psychiatrist combo. You gotta.
Sorry,
have both.
I don't know the
It's
difference
okay. No,
between
yeah,
a
it's all right.
therapist and a psychiatrist.
Yeah. One
So
prescribes
that
medicine, another prescribes the illness from the brain.
Yeah, you need to talk to somebody about what you're experiencing so that you could get the right treatment. That's right. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know the difference between a therapist and a psychiatrist. Till this second, they're the same in my head. So
Yeah. Well, they work together, so they're all.
yeah. No, I'm just saying they're the same person in my brain, and you're separating them now. And I gotta now go find out what the hell a therapist is versus a psychiatrist. So
Yeah.